Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Built Like This podcast. I'm your host, Maxine, on episode 340. Hello. Hope you are doing well. And we're back. What have we missed, huh? Whatsoever is going on here? What is going on, Jaguar Wright? What's going on? What is happening? Okay, so Jaguar Wright has done it again. She has made her voice loud and heard, and it has ruffled more feathers. Rightfully so. Who's to say? I do feel inclined to believe what she's saying, but I also feel hesitant to believe everything of what she says. I feel like she comes from a place of bitterness, considering that she worked in the industry for however long. She worked alongside Jay-Z. I think she does have insight into the happenings of the time period when she was close in proximity and maybe even in relation to Jay-Z. But who knows? Like, really, who knows? And it's not easy to quickly believe every word of what she says because of the discredit that is easily given to her because of her seemingly declining mental health. She seems to be a little off her rockers. Now, could that be rightfully due to her experience in the industry? Like, those two things could correlate. But nonetheless, it doesn't mean that everything that she says should be taken just instantly without investigation. Let's get into some of the clips that went viral this past week regarding Jaguar Wright, Diddy, Jay, Piers Morgan, the Star Report. I mean, the list goes on. So I'm gonna go ahead and play a few of these clips and we'll discuss. Let's discuss. But it's just again another knock on the belt. I don't know what's going on my hello. Another knock on my belt or of the belt of Diddy and how he is looking awful in these streets. I think I just saw something recently. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently Stevie Wonder made a comment about the happenings of Diddy and said he sees nothing wrong. He sees nothing wrong, nothing illegal with whatever Diddy is accused of. And look, this bleeds into what I said in a previous episode. Not to say I don't see anything wrong with, or not to say that I don't see any illegal activity happening. Because, yes, of course, prostitution is illegal. And some of the things like, drug possession and allegedly inducing other people without their consent, right? If it's called if it's an induction or something like that, then it's typically not of your consent. So I'm wondering if that's all the case, then I feel like that's a big deal. And I feel like that's something that should be considered as such. Oh, I thought I was paused. Hold on. It's still going. Okay, and we're back. And we're back. So we're gonna start off with this funny ass clip here.
No, because what we're not gonna do is pretend like Post Malone is not just Jelly Roll's skeleton. And who do you think introduced the diddler to Clive Davis? Judy Garland. I have never been to an Applebee's.
And that's literally how Jaguar Wright sounds. Like she'll start screaming, I am never speaking to Jennifer Hudson again. Like, what? And we're gonna get to Jennifer Hudson in a second.
You tell me why Cartoon Network stopped showing the Shirley Temple commercials and now all of a sudden we got Chapel Room. Come on. Are you serious? So when Kanye says it, he's crazy. But when Charlemagne says it, he is a god. That's why they call her Whoopi. Because she be farting. Rachel Maddow invited me to her house. Why were there no appetizers? None. Nothing. And I'll leave you with this. Why was LaToya Jackson at We Are the World?
And the way that he's moving on the couch, that's exactly how Jaguar Wright sits. Like she'll just like, and I tell you this. Why did I walk into the store and they gave me something to sign? Like, what? Okay, one more.
When he said who killing them in the UK, everybody gonna say UK. That was about Kim. But everybody knows that Jay-Z won the Double Dutch competition in Crenshaw. But nobody wanted to believe me when I told you Kendrick was from Mobile, Alabama. And a birdie told me Future does whiteface. Because when have you seen him and Meryl Streep together? But you gotta check the records. Because Jodie Foster got another knuckle implanted. I'm starting to believe that Snoop Dogg might just be a person. And you guys still believe that Billy Porter's gay. Okay. But Ryan Reynolds does not exist. It's just a very deep cut Deadpool. And see, the Biggie Tupac beef started all over a t-shirt that Biggie borrowed and stretched out. But nobody talked. When he's
Okay, well, there we go. There goes Jaguar Wright. Okay, let me show you the real clips. Okay, so Jaguar Wright was on Piers Morgan a few days ago. And this interview sparked a lot of controversy because she blatantly said the name Jay-Z. And Piers Morgan is a huge platform. And mind you, Jaguar Wright has been mentioning Jay-Z and other notable celebrities for a long time now, but she's done it on Black-owned platforms on YouTube, of course, but nonetheless, they were hosted by Black people. And I feel like though her videos have gone viral time and time again, it still did not get as much recognition as it's getting with Piers Morgan, considering that he's a white man. So, there's always that whole situation. Anyway, let's go ahead and watch this clip. And if you're listening, make sure you are checking out this video, our video on the tubular. So let's go ahead and watch this clip.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well.
So now she's going out her way to say Beyonce. Hold on. Beyonce? Not Beyonce. Not B. Ciao. I know my cousin Joanna is like, hello. I know she is rolling around right now.
They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping
Porter?
people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Piers.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially?
Okay, there we go. It's going back. There's another clip I want to show y'all of her talking about this. But okay, so as you heard, she is mentioning J and B. You see this picture here that I'm posting of B and J at one of the Grammys party back in the day. Not too long ago, but like long ago, where you see Jay's hair is not looking like Basquiat too much here. B is holding the Illuminati sign. I remember being younger and being in undergrad. Me and my friends, we were always like, we were looking into this deep. Like we were like the conspiracy crew. We watched a lot of the Lady Gaga videos and broke them down and noticed the Illuminati references, the eye, the hova, the triangle. There's a lot of references. So, if you're looking for it, you'll find it. And even if you're not looking for it, sometimes it's just in your face. But here, right, people will say, oh, this is just 3 words. She's from the 3rd Ward of Houston, or she's part of the Illuminati, or that, or I'm right.
There was none for her.
How many?
Or I'm right. I'm still right. All right. So there's that. She also mentioned, let's see if I can find another clip. Piers Morgan, what's her name? Jaguar Wright. Because there's so much from that interview that you could take away that was definitely profound. Let's see.
Jaguar.
Guess they're on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is
It's British as Jaguar
going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. For decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims?
Okay, she said that. Let's see. Let me get to this part.
Unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Piers.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest with you.
You're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously. Kim Porter,
yes.
A new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
I think people should really look into that more. I am friends with Albie Shore. I love him. I love his children. I knew Kim. We used to all hang out together at the Kit Kat Club back in the mid-90s when Diddy was first starting his reign. I watched that whole thing happen. And everything that Albert has been through, every attempt on his life that has been ignored by the authorities, it all leads back to.
All right, there we have it. She is pointing out that Jay has been a part of this. She's alleging Jay, Beyonce, and that there are hundreds of victims. There's a part in the interview How do I play in a whole interview? But there's a part of the interview where she references the movie Blink Twice, which is a movie that I saw. I saw that movie and love that movie. It's absolutely amazing. Same as Speak No Evil. Oh Lord, I'll watch them again. Honestly, I went when I didn't have my car. I decided to still like indulge in some like fun activity to kind of take my mind off of the stressors of my accident and all these things. So I went and watched that movie. So freaking good. Blink Twice is a great movie because it perfectly captures what could have allegedly taken place in those freak offs at Epstein Island, in the Playboy Bunny house, like all of that. I feel like it just captured everything so well. And prior to Diddy getting arrested and being in jail currently, prior to this all falling down, the movie came out, Blink Twice. So it didn't take probably like maybe a month until Diddy's world started falling apart. And it just made me think, I'm like, wait, Blink Twice, Diddy, Blink Twice, Diddy. Like, it made me think that maybe this is what took place at the freak offs. If y'all haven't seen Blink Twice, go ahead and watch it. It got what am I saying? It's directed by Zoe Kravitz and is starring Channing Tatum. And they're both in a relationship together with each other. So they did a great job. This is her first directorial debut. She did fantastic. But anyway, I bring that up because in the interview with Piers Morgan, Jaguar Wright coincidentally references Blink Twice, and she holds what looks like a match, like a matcher, not a matcher, but like a match. And she also says, shout out to Zoe Kravitz, who hosted or who created the movie Blink Twice. I'm like, that was a random ass plug. But it's not random, but I say it's random because why did she like what made her just randomly say Zoe Kravitz's name? So it's making me think, I'm wondering if Zoe Kravitz is sponsoring Jaguar Wright. Is Zoe Kravitz aligning her protection amongst Jaguar Wright? So now Jaguar Wright feels more protected to speak out loud and say what she's saying. That's what I'm wondering. But anyway, there's a lot going on here. So that's that. Let's see what else. Okay, another one. So the Star Report, who's hosted by Star, he is a well-known shock jock. He was on the radio for many years until some controversy that took place. I think I don't know what exactly happened, but it was something that happened between him and DJ Envy. And it resulted to him losing the position. But he's known for his outrageous mouth. Very, just very New York. You know, a lot of these niggas up north, just no manners when it comes to anybody. But when it comes to women, they don't see women as like, you know, this precious thing. Like if you act like a ratchet hoe, you'll be treated as such. And maybe that's a good thing, right? Like maybe it's best for them to still treat people as they treat them. But I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. The way that he spoke to Jaguar Wright, who called him on his show, was a little aggressive. And as a black woman, I'm gonna pull that card when it's convenient. As a black woman, I did clutch my pearls a little bit because he called her all types of names, and come to find out, I don't know if it's true, but Star is half white and his father is Italian. So for him to have said some of the things, which I'm going to play in a moment, to Jaguar Wright, they were definitely stereotypical. They were definitely racist by verbiage, just racist as fuck. But here's the thing, because Jaguar Wright is not particularly adored, she's not a media darling, you know, and she's not necessarily this in the box type of beauty, I guess. You know, I don't think she's ugly, nothing like that. But I think because she is of a certain weight now, she has gained weight and she just looks a certain way. I think that is more of a reason why that type of black woman is not protected, if you know what I mean. You know, people be like, oh, protect black women, protect black. Yeah, but to an extent, people protect black women to an extent. And because Jaguar Wright, you know, not only is she not necessarily favored, but she purposely ruffles feathers for the better good, which is what I'm seeing her intentions are. But then sometimes it feels like, are you just a bitter Betty? You know, are you just a bitter Betty? I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and watch this clip. These clips, there's a lot. What I don't like, though, I think because she is so I don't give a F type of attitude, she doesn't have enough couth to speak in a manner that is respectful. So, of course, to a nigga like Star, he's going to find that as an opportunity to cuss you the fuck out.
Due to copyright reasons, I cannot play the video.
So apparently, Jaguar Wright has been given third-degree theft charges. Let's see.
Unnecessary court fees and litigations because Jay-Z wants me broken, stopped, or under his control. And it ain't going to happen, Sean. I'm never going to be under your control. Never. You need to learn how to control your wife and her friends and their mouths. Because you got Beyonce in the Beehive looking real fucking dumb right now. 5 million unfollowed, and that number's going to go up with every image in one of those freak-off tapes. And God help, if anybody hear how that bitch really talks about people with her, they'll start unfollowing by the tens of hundreds.
All right. Well, there we have it here. Okay. So she may be getting targeted by J and B allegedly. And she's saying she will not back down. Okay. She will not back down. Not on my watch. Speaking of watches, let's talk about Common. Let's talk about Common and how he's acting like it's time, if he were to get married, that he would marry Jennifer Hudson, who he's been in a relationship with for the past maybe 2 years now. The reason why I'm laughing at this is Common is full of shit. Hello? Common is full of shiznai. He's one of those men who, how do I put it? They're just like in it with you, but they're not really about anything future-wise. I feel like he's not a clout chaser. What's the equivalent of a clout chaser for men who are in a relationship with women who are doing better than them? That's what I think Common is. Let's get
heard
into
you've
it.
been even out there talking about marriage, Karen. What's that about? I mean, I just happened to notice that.
I was asked about marriage.
Yes.
And I just answered honestly. I said, you know what? You told me a quote that your mother said, a man knows what he wants. And I was
Like, shut the fuck up. Comment, please. Comment, please. It's just the full of shitness that I can't. And look at Jennifer's face falling for this BS. He's so full of, as if he was gonna do it, then he would have done it. All those women he's been with before for these short stints of a relationship, he's never gotten far to propose. And not all of a sudden, in his 3rd year, 2.5-year time frame with Jennifer, he's ready to seemingly, possibly, if because your mother said a quote, I'll marry you. Bye. And you saw how he looked at her. Look at her, like he knows. Oh, this is gonna get her. This is gonna get her to fall for me more, to be more attached to me. I think that's what it is. I think Common's one of those guys. Like, he's always been good looking. He's always been adored. He just looks good, and he still looks good. But I remember when he was younger. I remember being younger, and noticing, dang, he's a pretty handsome guy. But I've never seen him claim a woman. Like, he's just a perpetual single guy. Despite being in multiple relationships, he comes off as a perpetual single man. Hello? I said what I said, in the words of Nene.
And I was saying my true feelings about, listen, Jennifer is the person, if I should be married.
Look at him. The fact that he said if twice, he doesn't look her in the eye. If I should marry you, comment, please. If you wanted to get married, he would have been gotten married. He's been with Angela Rye, Tiffany Haddish, Serena Williams, Erykah Badu. I mean, hello? He's a perpetual single man in relationships. Do y'all get my drift? If he wanted to marry any of those, like those women that I named previously, are good women from what I could tell. Like, there aren't any stories of them being, just out there. I mean, exclude Tiffany Haddish, but he's been with a lot of women who look good, who seem to have their shit together, and could have made a good wife had he asked them. But he has never gone far as to ever propose to any of his previous girlfriends. And I don't think he didn't. I'm thinking, did he propose to Erykah Badu? No, he just never proposed. Like, he's just like a where the wind flows, who's the right type of woman out right now? Who can I harp on the wings of? That's Common. Common is a perpetual single man in multiple relationships. I said what I said.
It will be to Jennifer Kate Hudson.
It'll be to Jennifer Kate. Like, shut up. And I don't like a man who gives these public adorations to their significant other. I think it's tactless. I really do. I don't think it's classy at all. I'm the type where I really like a private love. Maybe that's why I like to have private relationships, but shout out to my bun. Do y'all see this? These roots are rooting. Shout out to hair growth. But no, seriously, I don't like a big old fuss. I don't need you to go on my talk show and talk about if I were maybe in some world, hypothetically, if I were to get married, it would be to you, Jennifer Kate. What? Nigga, why you say my middle name? And hear how the audience is reacting. Let me go bring it back.
But Kate Hudson.
Everyone's screaming. The women on, the women, there's older women in the audience. There's probably older black women in the audience at that. They're screaming, oh my God, he wasn't married. Girl. And if he marries you, Jennifer, the nigga will still be single. Hello? The nigga will still be single.
I was just being honest.
I'm just being honest. Shut up. If you were, you would have been done it. Like, let's cut it out. I feel like men of a particular age, there's no... What are we checking out the times for? They're both of a particular age. They both have children. They're both successful in their own right. What do you mean if? What do you mean if maybe, one day if the shoe fits? Nigga, what?
Now wait.
Yes. Okay.
Where do you stand on that? Where are you? Where are you in there?
You know what?
That's the question.
My mother was right. I think if she had met you, she said, I don't know about the rest of them, but that comment is all right with me. That's what she would say.
Yeah.
And I would agree. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think you are a deserving man. And, I support that idea. I think it's a beautiful idea.
They're talking like they're not in a relationship.
I will say that. Now, hold on. In due time, if it ever gets to that place.
In due time. First of all, y'all don't want to get married. Like, can we? Hello? Hold on. Hello? Is my mic on? Yeah, Jennifer Hudson doesn't want to get married. Common doesn't want to get married. They're a good fit, if you ask me, just based on those two things. Neither of them wants to get married. Jennifer Hudson was engaged to her previous guy, who is known for, he was on the show I Love New York, right? He was one of the contestants, and he actually was a wrestler. She was engaged to him for 5 years, maybe even more, but it was at least 5 years, y'all. They weren't ever close to getting across the aisle. Common's fine ass could have been gotten a wife. Jennifer could have been his second or third wife by now, but he has not done it. This nigga, hold on. How old is Common? Common is 58. Okay, he's 52. I'm 6 years off. This nigga is 52 years old, talking about if your mama said, I heard one thing about my mama, if she sees a good woman, that damn Bible, not to say damn, forgive me, Lord. But, when people be like, in the Bible it says, a man, he who finds a wife finds a good, shut up! Common has met multiple good wives and still has said no to marriage. So you mean to tell me all of a sudden Jennifer Hudson is the one that'll splice things up? No. And Jennifer Hudson doesn't want to get married either. This bitch could care less. And I think because we live in such a society that does not revere unmarried couples, that does not see unmarried couples as an opportunity to just still be happy, they think, oh, when do you think he's gonna pop the question? It's like, what if I'm just like content with what we have right now? Anyway, the point is, neither of them want to get married. I think they feel pressured to just finally marry, and it's a joke. Ooh, Lord, it's a joke. So, Common, please get out of my face. Stop messing with me. Stop it. This nigga is 52 years old. If he wanted to get married, he would have been gotten married. Please. And Jennifer Hudson, if you wanted to get married, you would have been gotten married. And you could say, oh, well, you know, it didn't work out with her ex. She shouldn't be still. She's 43 years old. She wanted to get married. She would have been gotten married. Cut the ish. Cut the ish. So shout out to her. Shout out to them. I'll give it another year. We'll see how things go. All right. Yeah. So they're not getting married. Cut the ish. Tia and Tamara. Speaking of marriage, Tia and Tamara. So Tia is out here. Did I talk about this in the last episode? She is out here on a new show called My Next Act on WE TV. It chronicles her life post-marriage, how she managed getting through her divorce, and just her identity now, no longer as a wife, or at least, the wife of Corey Hardrick, whom she's been in a relationship with for all of her adult years. They were together for a long time prior to them getting married, and they share children together. So they have a lot of history, and learning about her deciding to file for divorce was shocking for a lot of people, because it's like, wait, what? When did this happen? But the assumptions are he seemed to not have been as into her, or he just seemed to be over her, while she would be playing around, goofing off, and doing these reels on Instagram. And it seems like he was just totally uninterested. So I'm going to play this clip of Tia talking with some of her girlfriends. They're at her house, and she's telling them about how Corey is, they were each other's first. Well, she was his first, at least. No, he was her first. Just put it like that. So it's hard to kind of get into the mindset of someone else. Like, that's weird. This is a bigger topic, but let's get into the microscopic of it all before we branch out. So let's go ahead.
How did you get over that hump?
I think it requires really knowing yourself.
And they're speaking to Essence there. Well, this is someone else at the couch too, another friend. I don't know who she is necessarily, but Essence Atkins is the woman who she's talking to directly, asking her for some advice on how was she able to get through her divorce. Essence Atkins looked just like Tia and Tamara. Like, she could be a sister of theirs. Like, it's really strange. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue.
Really emancipating yourself from the need to control what people think.
Thank you for that, because I lived my life for others. And I found validation with myself.
You shouldn't have to act in your life.
Yeah, that part. And that's what it was. I got tired of not being authentic, and living in my truth. I got tired of showing up at events and people thinking that everything was perfect when it wasn't, like I would go home and feel alone. My persona as a celebrity is kind of like the girl next door, the white picket fence. But what I didn't show was the reality of what was really going on in my marriage. Maybe I was trying to live a fantasy.
This time, however long it lasts before, there's a new iteration of your life, right, with a partner.
I've never dated.
That's right.
I've never dated. Corey was my first.
Right. Yes.
Everything.
I know.
So I wasn't even allowed to date until I was 18 years old. I met Corey when I turned 20, and I lost my virginity at 25. There, was that it? And then we got married. Boom. Welp.
And there we have it. Now, look, I don't want to shame her for this at all. This is a common experience for many women, many Black women at that, but many women in general, white, Black, Hispanic, I don't know about Hispanic, but white or black. I don't know about Hispanics. Pretty fertile. But this is a common experience for women who grew up in a Christian household. And it's common because the purity culture was pushed heavily on women, on young girls, to maintain their virginity, to not date, not look at men, don't even find any man attractive, don't spark your sexuality. What do you mean you're dating? You should only be focused on your studies, and when it's time for you to date, you should only look at one man. There's no room to date around and see what works, see what doesn't work, and do all of that. And it does a number. It does a number on women who, grow up to be adult women, and they realize they spent half of their life just with one person, and that relationship ended up not working out. And sometimes it does work out, whatever. But the point is, when they're finding themselves away from that mindset and from that ideology, it's a hard reality to face that, wait, I'm kind of starting from scratch. I don't know what I like or what I don't like. I don't know how to go about dating. I've only been with one person. I don't know how to advocate for myself. I don't know how to be a sexual person because it was embedded in me to not be. It's like, oh, don't be a freak, don't be a freak, don't be a freak. But then get married and make sure you please your husband. It's like, but I don't know how to have sex. Ah! So that is a mindset that a lot of women who grew up in a Christian household have. And it's a lot of unlearning. And you can take a lot of things with you as far as good knowledge to keep. But it's not as progressive or as beneficial to you as your own being, as someone in charge of your own autonomy could be. It's not. And I've talked about this a lot in the beginning of my podcast when I first came out in 2018. A lot of removing myself from that purity mindset. And I've come a long way. But still, sometimes it likes to spark its ugly head, and sometimes it likes to bring on that shaming tactic. And I'm not saying you necessarily have to date around to the point where you're giving your body to every guy. And I've gone there. Like, I've been in that experience as well to some degree. And I don't necessarily advocate for that either. Like, at one point I was, but then when you go through something and you get out of it and you realize, yeah, maybe that shouldn't have been an experience. Everything's a lesson learned, of course, but ultimately, I think there's always this like two extremes, like either be a hoe or be a complete prude. And I don't think either or is the best way to go about life. I think there's a balance that should be had when you're a woman and you're trying to decide who to love and how to love and navigating that. So Tia is the twin who divorced her husband. What she's going through is real. I don't want to shame her for it. And it takes a lot of courage to come forward and just walk us through post life of marriage, So shout out to her. I wish her well. I'll definitely be tuning in and seeing how this show goes. And that is all for today's episode, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you are subscribed. That is your way of showing support. So if you are subscribed already, shout out to you. Thank you so much. If you are not at this point, it's giving hater. No, that means you are going to subscribe. So I'm already thanking you in advance. And tell a friend to tell a friend. If you would also like to leave your own commentary, I definitely encourage that. There is a link in the show notes. If you're not on YouTube, if you're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, you'll see that link where you could click it and you'll give literally your voice commentary on any of the topics that I've discussed. So I would definitely appreciate that. So I encourage you to click that link. It's on your Spotify or Apple Podcast show notes. And I look forward to listening to them, and I will play it on a future episode. So please consider doing that. That'll be great. More engagement. I want to hear what you guys think and continue this dialogue. So that is all. I will check in with you all next time. Peace.